As you guys can see, we are literally emulating Dragon Ball Sparking Zero on my low-end Android device. Let's get started. Yo, what's up guys, it's ApTreX here. In today's video, we'll be testing out the latest Winlator Glibc Cmod as promised on my low-end Android device. So right here is the iQOO Z6 Lite with a Snapdragon 4 Gen 1 processor, Adreno 619 GPU, along with that 5.4 GB of RAM. You guys know this device very well. I use it to test out many emulators on my channel. Well, in today's video, we'll be trying out the Winlator Glibc Cmod. Let me start off by showing you guys the best settings that I am running. So the Box 64 version is the latest Box 64. In terms of performance preset, I have selected performance, then duplicated the preset by tapping on this option and edit it to set the save flags level to 0. Once that has been done, all the other settings are as default. And in terms of container settings, I have created a new container where the screen size is set to 800 by 600. Graphics driver is set to the latest Turnip graphics driver, which is 24.3.0.9. Along with that DXVK version, you can set it to 2.4.1. I have enabled show FPS as well as full screen mode, and video memory size is set to 4 GB. Afterwards, in terms of advanced settings, the performance 1 preset has been chosen along with startup selection as aggressive. X input has been enabled along with processor affinity tick mark for all cores. And if I just go to the shortcuts, you'll be able to see all the games that we'll be testing out in today's video. I have added some games like Dragon Ball Sparking Zero as well as GTA 4, which I want to see if they work on my low-end device inside of this emulator or not. So before getting started, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on all notification as I upload similar videos on my channel. We are very close to reaching 100k subscribers, and when we reach that goal, I'll be purchasing a low-end Android device which is even lower end than this phone right here. Nonetheless, the game right here is the Amazing Spider-Man 2. It hasn't been recognized in the shortcuts, that's why it's not showing me. If we just go ahead and enable the big picture screen, you'll be able to see all the games that I have right here. With all of that out of the way, the first game that we'll be trying out is going to be Assassin's Creed Rogue. I have already tested this game out multiple times in other emulators, but the thing about Winlator Glibc Cmod is the fact that it is actually using Glibc, which improves the performance, and it also has various Turnip drivers and graphics driver to make sure that your game is compatible and it will work on any Android device unless and until it has a Snapdragon processor with Adreno 6 series or 7 series GPU. Now guys, for some reason the game was not starting with the Turnip driver 24.3.0 revision 9, so I am using the Turnip driver 24.2.99 as you will be able to see at the top left corner. If we use the latest driver, then the game was just crashing, so there might be a bug with that. Nonetheless, let's just go ahead and see how well does this game actually work. And here we go guys, the game has successfully started. At the top left corner, you will be able to see the FPS that we are getting inside this fork version of Winlator Android, and only when the game actually starts, I'll be able to tell you guys the conclusion if this game works better on Winlator 8.0 or Winlator Glibc Cmod. And so the moment of truth is finally here. The game has successfully started, and at the top left corner I am seeing FPS bar anywhere from 15 to 20 FPS. Now this means that it is sorta better than the Winlator 8.0. In Winlator 8.0 I was getting 9 to 15 FPS maximum. Most of the time it was 10 to 11 FPS, whereas in Winlator Glibc Cmod I am getting more than 12 FPS, 13 to 16 FPS on a stable basis, which means that definitely there is an improvement of 3 FPS between the Winlator 8.0 and Winlator Cmod. In conclusion, you can definitely play this game on a very low-end Android device with Snapdragon 6 series GPU. Anyways, the next game that we'll be trying out is going to be Grand Theft Auto 4. Straight away, I am not going to hype it up or anything because we already know Grand Theft Auto 4 worked in the Winlator 8.0. But as we just saw, the FPS difference is present between Winlator 8.0 and Winlator Glibc Cmod, and as Winlator Glibc is more compatible and has more Turnip drivers, DX wrappers, it is considered generally as a better emulator. But is it better in emulating GTA 4 on a low-end device? Let's find out. There we go, Rockstar Games. GTA 4 is about to start. Let me just go ahead and go to the game settings. We'll decrease all the game's graphics settings as you will be able to see. Set everything to low. Anisotropic filtering must be turned off. VSync and definition have also been turned off. I'll simply press the Y button to apply the changes and finally start the game to see how well does it actually work. And here we go guys, starting a brand new game. Once again I tried it out with the latest Turnip driver, but the game just wouldn't start. The game would crash after this scene right here. Whereas now that I am using the turnip driver 24.3.0 revision 9, the game has successfully started. I'll just go ahead and skip this beginning cutscene. And there we go guys, GTA 4 has successfully started on my low-end Android device. And quite literally guys, I am very surprised to see that we are getting more than 20 to 30 FPS while emulating game like GTA 4 on my low-end Android device. I tested the same game in Winlator 8.0. I was only getting like 15 to 20 FPS, whereas in this emulator we are literally getting 5 FPS more. Now that might not seem a lot, but trust me guys, it definitely makes a huge change and finally makes your game way more playable than it actually was previously. Just take a look at this. I am able to play GTA 4 on my low-end Android device, and when driving a car you will notice that the FPS drops down quite a lot. It is because GTA 4 is a very high-end game. Nonetheless, this game is playable, which means that our next game that we'll be trying out is going to be Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Yep, I am skipping Amazing Spider-Man 2 as well as Just Cause 2. We'll try it out later on in this video. I am really excited to try out Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Now if you guys ask me, then I would say that I'm not really sure if it will work or not. It even struggles to run on my Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 Android device with 16 GB of RAM, so I don't have any hopes for a device which only has 2.4 GB of available RAM to emulate such an high-end 2024 game like the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So will it work? You will be able to notice the game has actually indeed started. The FPS is showing 00 because it hasn't started loading yet. Okay, what is this? Dragon Ball Sparking Zero actually booted on my low-end Android device. I literally had no hopes guys, like the black screen went on for like quite a long time, but still you will be able to see that at the top left corner it's showing me about 19 FPS and our Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has actually started. 2024 high-end game, one of the best Dragon Ball AAA games out there. Will it be playable though? I don't really think so, but let me just go ahead and skip all of this nonsense. And I can't really believe it, the game has still not crashed. At the top left corner you will see GPU is 100% being used. So this is super epic. Let's just go ahead and tap on the X button to confirm everything, and here will be the moment of truth. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero will start on my low-end Android device. And what is this bro? The game is actually booting even though it's at very slow 6 FPS. The entire FPS graph has turned into red because of how hard it actually is to run this game on my Android device. Let me just go ahead and tap on the A button to start our game. We are about to play Dragon Ball Sparking Zero on our low-end Android device. And here we go guys, the beginning cutscene is actually rolling through. Like what's actually going on bro? This is Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Why is it even working on this super trash low-end Android device? But we are able to emulate this game and there are so many stuttering issues. It's not that great, but finally we can interact and start playing this game. You guys will be able to see, even though we are getting 4 FPS, even though this is supposed to be one of the hardest games that you can emulate on your Android devices, we are able to run it inside of the Winlator Glibc Cmod on my low-end Android device. Do let me know in the comment section down below what do you guys think about this. Like I am pretty sure you need a really high-end device if you want to get a playable gameplay experience like at least Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 or above, and out of nowhere a Snapdragon 4 Gen 1 device does this. Like this has never been done before. At the top left corner you will be able to see we are only getting around 2 to 3 FPS, which means that this game is nowhere playable. Like you can't even see anything. It will just take you hundreds of years to complete this game at this level of FPS. So would I recommend you guys to play this game on your low-end Android device? It's just not playable, but is it possible? Yep, it is possible to run this game on your low-end Android devices. With that being said, let me just go ahead and exit this game. You will be able to see my entire device is lagging, but still it didn't give up guys. This is why IQ. Now unfortunately guys, my camera has decided to run out of its battery, which means that I won't be able to test out the remaining 2 games, which is Just Cause 2 as well as Amazing Spider-Man. Now as per my experience, I believe that both of these games will actually work, but in Glibc Cmod you will just get 2 to 3 FPS more. So yeah, that's the conclusion of our today's video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.